record this. So yeah, thank you all for being here, and for whoever else watches this and shows up. You know, this is an introduction to human design, and I have had the joy and the pleasure to meet Ben and Tom, who are here, and they have helped me kind of reconfigure, reorganize, you know, my own life, and how I show up, and how I love myself, and express myself, and simply be. And you know, it's funny how the world works. I just started getting into human design about a year ago or so, and I started working with somebody, and then was with a friend, and I was up in Mount Shasta, and I was like, yeah, I'm starting to learn about human design and stuff. And they're like, oh, we got to introduce you to our friend Ben. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, yeah, we don't never know where he is, but we'll introduce you to him. And so, you know, I kind of let it go. And then a couple of days later, my buddy Ra and I were at this waterfall, McCloud Falls, a beautiful waterfall. We jumped into the water. It's freezing cold. And there was this guy sitting down on a rock, and then we were getting ready to leave, and we saw him jumping in and getting out. And my buddy Ra was like, oh, dude, that's Ben. I was just talking about Ben to you in human design. And I was like, no way, this is crazy. And so we spoke to Ben, and he's like, yeah, man, this is the first place that I came to after getting back from Idaho. And you know, something was calling me to come to the waterfall, and it was to meet you guys and see you guys. And so we walked back to our vehicles, and ended up giving Ben a ride back to wherever he was. And you know, I got to know him, got to understand a little bit more about human design and the things that are coming. And we just kept in touch. And I joined his little social media platform that he has, and I started, you know, taking up more resources, you know, from that platform. And then, you know, I was in Venice Beach, and he told me, he's like, yo, man, we'll have to get a workout soon. We'll connect. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. You know, we'll find a time. And I don't really operate that well with like set in stone plans and meeting up with people, unless it's like I'm gonna go work out or something. But I'm just like walking on Venice Beach in the boardwalk, and then all of a sudden I see Ben just like skating by on his skateboard. And he told me, like, he's like, normally I wouldn't go this way, but something was just pulling me this direction. And then boom, we ran into each other. We ended up linking up, taking a walk. And you know, there are no coincidences in life. All of our decisions are being made as we intentionally go into it. And so at least that's kind of how I see it, at least. And so you know, I knew from that point on, all right, there's something here with Ben and what he's teaching and what he's offering. And shortly after that, I decided to, you know, take a course with him, and we're in a course right now, living your design, and it's powerful, and I'm learning so much about myself, and I wanted to, you know, share this with more people. And so brought Ben on and Tom here, and I'm gonna just let them get in their flow, do their thing, and introduce, you know, human design to more and more people. So take it away, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, for this little introduction. It's awesome. It's amazing. So thank you for having us here. What I invite you to do, all of you, can we have access to share the screen? At least for just me, if I can share the screen.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, they haven't started talking yet, though.
What do I do?
No. Just John, if you can give me the access to.
Do you have access now?
No, I think you only put Tom.
Okay.
So if you can just like switch between, yeah, here we go. Now I can.
Okay.
All right, up and up. Check. Perfect. Can you guys see my screen? So if you see my screen, yeah, you just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, cool, perfect. So what I invite you to do first, I don't know how many of you knows about human design. What do you know about it? If you heard about it. So I just invite you to, leave comments in the chat. And if you've never heard about it, you just say, no, I never heard, I'm completely new. If you heard about it and you know your type, your profile, just leave few comments if you're aware of your type, your profile, if you already have a little introduction about it, if you know a little bit about it. Just go in the chat and leave few comments. If not, or even if yes, I invite you to get your chart with you, because that's going to be useful for the presentation of this evening. Mostly Tom and I will do very general information, so we can go deep into specific information based on each of you. So it will be a general introduction, a general lecture on the design for tonight, and then we will guide you through, if you want to go deeper on it, if you're really interested in this knowledge, if you want to apply this knowledge in your life, and all of that, we're going to give you tons of different options for you to choose what is the best for you. Okay, so one thing that you can do, and I'm going to put it right now in the chat, is to use mybodygraph.com. Yeah, cool. Oh, you put it. Okay, cool. So mybodygraph.com, and that's where you can get your charts, and that's how you can pull out your chart, your types, and get some details about who you really are. I don't think it's really necessary to go too deep in the transits. Tom, let me know what you think, because people may not be familiar at all with the terms and everything, but maybe we can just simply take a little look at it and at least share what's the tone of the day. And before we do that, in a very simple way, in human design, we have what we call the transits, and the transit, it's kind of like the daily horoscope, like astrology. Astrology, every day the planets moves and it gives you a little sample, like the weather of the day, right? So it's kind of the same with the transits. And right now, this is the chart. This is the field of the neutrinos, aka the consciousness field that we are living in, and this is what it's composed. This is how it is influencing all of us right now. In a very simple way, keep in mind, it's like the weather. So every day it changes. And right now, for all of us, right now, like right now, today, this is under the left angle cross of the spirits. So this is how we are all influenced right now, is to find our spirits. And the way we can do that is through intimacy. Intimacy is about into me, you see. It's our ability to go deep inside us and to look at the spirit, what is really inside. And that's like the energy of the day, to really be simple. As you can see, we have few centers that are defined, like colored in. So today we may have been feeling emotional. We may have been feeling, maybe very sexual, actually, because this is the channel of mating, a design focused on reproduction. So it may have been, with who I can be intimate with who I can be open, with who I can feel, I'm going breaking down the barrier so I can achieve intimacy. That's what really is the energy today, yesterday, it will be tomorrow, it's staying here for a few days before it changed to something different. So it's a very emotional day. We have a lot of energy. We have a lot of energy to be sexual, for reproduction, for breaking down barriers so we can achieve intimacy, which is really into me, you see, and we also have this channel of talents, the channel of wavelength, which is a design of talent. So it is really about the enthusiasm of sharing our skills and going deep into our skills. So it can be the talent of letting go the mask and, going into our spirit and showing up as ourselves, with our spirits. And that's kind of like what we're going to do tonight. That's what we're going to do right now. It's finding the talent of our spirit so we can fully express ourselves in the world without any mask, without pretending anymore, So Tom, is anything else you would like to add quickly on the transit without getting too much deeper on it? But yeah.
Well, you know, I never have anything to say, Ben, but I'll take a shot at it.
Mhm.
It's all about the talent of intimacy, the talent of being able to be seen as yourself. Get the masquerade ball, mask and costume off. Be willing to be seen. I'll tell you a little secret, whether you know it or not. The moment you put your chart in front of somebody, you couldn't, and they know how to read that chart, you couldn't possibly get enough clothes off to be seen as well as you're going to be seen when that chart is in front of somebody that knows what they're looking at. I've been doing this 28 years. I'm used to watching people's jaws hit the table. They say, how do you know that? Well, what we're doing here, what a human design chart is just a chart of your genetic makeup. We're looking at your genetic differentiated imprinting. So we're going to talk to you not from a place of opinions, not from a place of thoughts or ideas, but would speak very specifically about what that chart is, and you'll feel recognized and you'll go, whoa, okay? So that's all I really need to say as a starter. I just want to let you know that this is not a belief system. This is not a moralistic system. It's a question of what is and what is not, that is you. When we're doing a collective thing, it wouldn't necessarily be collective. We'll talk in general. But the moment we were to put one person's chart up and start talking about that, that person is either going to be very comfortable being seen for the first time in a long time, or they might squirm a little bit. We're not used to getting seen in this way, but I think you'll find that you really like it quite a lot once you get used to it. So there you go.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah. All right. So, well, let's just start. Thank you so much. Welcome for this introduction on human design. We also will talk a little bit about what is happening today in the human consciousness and what is coming in 2027. So we really are going right now. This is really what is happening, a transformation of human consciousness. And it's deep and it's powerful, and everyone is aware of it. Everyone is, what the hell is happening? But not everyone is able to really put words on it. And it can bring a lot of uncertainty, especially if you are not really correctly equipped to navigate during those uncertain times, which are very exciting, by the way. I'm going to start by presenting myself a little bit, so you guys at least know who you are listening to, and if you want to take this information or not, because this is very important. So my name is Benjamin Torre. I'm a visionary mystic, a shaman, basically. I'm doing breathwork, so I'm a breathwork facilitator, which is what I really like to do, a human design guides. I've been doing human design maybe for the last couple of years, like 5 years, 6 years, but really living my design for the last 6 years and a half, 7 years. I made human design 10 years ago, but the first couple of years, you know, I was still caught up into these manifestation things. I was like, oh, I want to be a manifester, and let me manifest, and the law of attraction, you know, blah, 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 you know, all those things. And then I find human design, and then I realized, oh, there's no choice here. Okay, well, I better surrender, you know, because I don't want to be miserable anymore. So I'm a generator 6-2, and in just one word, I will say I'm a consciousness hacker. That's what I love doing the most, based on my design, on my genetics, is just, you know, to hack consciousness. Here's my chart. As you can see, if you know a little bit about it, you can see how it looks like. I'm a 6-2, a role model hermit. My authority is sacral, so I'm only really here now. I'm purely existential. It's really here now. And I'm a left angle cross of prevention. This is where I can fulfill my purpose, which is by preventing, you know, so I'm here to prevent. I don't want to go too much into details, but basically this is the energy that is carried, is to examine behavior, to analyze behavior, and then make commentary to correct it. I really have the energy to correct behavior and to correct things, to prevent actually hardship or injury by correcting the behavior and cutting it off before potential disaster happen. That's really the purpose of my incarnation here. And I really like doing that. You know, what is interesting as well is that everyone is looking for some sort of purpose. You know, everyone is looking for some sort of complex magical formula to understand why some people have success and why some are not, and you know, all of that, when as a matter of fact a position was given to us, and at the moment you fully embrace the position that was given to you, you can finally surrender. You can finally quit the battlefield. You can finally let go on all the propaganda. You can relax, sit back and chill. And your life starts to be so much easier, with so much smooth and ease, and everything is happening for you. You don't have to do anything. It is happening. This is my background, and I really know what I'm talking about when I tell you, you don't have to go on the battlefield anymore. I'm an ex-Special Forces. I spent 5 years in the SAS, and I really know that shit. It's over. We don't need to fight anymore. And in all sort of fights, mentally, spiritually, physically, in all of that, we don't need to, we don't have to. This is done, gone, over, boom, done. After I left the military, I had my beautiful experience, spiritual experience, and that's when, you know, I met spirit and I discovered human design. And then I started to travel the world, and with some of my friends, I've been doing some amazing interviews, as you can see, Torre good here, so to pull some information out and to put it outside on the web. I did a few things with Russell Brand as well, so we have been putting information out. And mostly for the last 10 years, I just have been traveling to Burning Man and, you know, countries in the world doing business training and corporate training on human design, on shamanism, on spirit, on simply another way of living. And that's what I've been really excited of sharing with the world, music, breathwork, and, you know, the human design. I'm going to pass to Tom. And I just want to say that I met Tom a few years ago when I lived in Boulder. And I had the most magical experience being with Tom for a couple of hours at a coffee shop, sharing, talking together. And since this day, Tom has been such an incredible support for me and my experience in design and all the things that I'm able to do today to push this information outside in the world. As you can see here, but Tom will speak, you know, for himself, but he has been in design for almost 28 years and he was very close to Ra. So this is really a thank you, Tom. You know, this is such a privilege having you. So I'll let you presenting yourself, and then we can move on into the design and the topic of tonight.
Thank you, Ben, for the kind introduction. And I would like to say one thing right up front. Ben's been in design 5 or 6 years, and I am wildly impressed with what he has done with it in that short period of time. When I first met Ben, I looked at him and said, brother, you look like trouble to me, but I think you might be the kind of trouble I really enjoy. And that is exactly what it has turned out to be, okay? He's a remarkably talented human being. When he talks about wanting to prevent behavior and get it to correct behavior, he's not talking about an opinion he has about what your behavior should be. He's talking about what your chart tells you is you. Okay, so the thing he's trying to prevent is you living a life that isn't yours. What a privilege it is to live your own life. And it's just, okay, so I ran into this 28 years ago. I went down to Taos, New Mexico to take what I thought was going to be a weekend course after having gotten a reading from Ra here. I'll tell you that story another time. He was in Boulder and I got a reading from him and I was wildly impressed with what was going on. I went down, I thought I was going to take a weekend class, okay, to find out what human design was. 28 years later, I'm still taking classes. It's incredibly huge, okay? Very complex, and yet at the same time, very simple. It is the simple things that make it work. You don't need to know everything there is to know about design. You need to know what there is about your design and follow that type and strategy. That's the correct behavior for you. It's not something I made up, Ra made up, Ben made up, anybody made up. It's something that your maker gave you. It's part of your genetics. You recognize it when you're looking at the things that are black in your design. That's what you have conscious access to. You'll recognize those things. The things that are red, you do not have conscious access to. You will be surprised. You will have all these other people walking up to you and they're saying these things about you, and you say, you're not talking about me, you talk about everybody else in the world. But if people from different places, different times are saying the same thing, then perhaps they are talking about you. And what they are encountering is your unconscious. We don't know who you are until we spend some time with you. The only thing they have the opportunity to visualize right up front is your body, okay? The physical form that you are, which is part of your genetics. But one of the problems geneticists are having is the assumption that the genes are only about the physical body, the form. No, there's a passenger in there. And at some point, to get to know somebody, you're going to end up having to deal with that passenger. Now, the reason it's so complicated on this world is people don't know who they are. They've been told all kinds of things by everybody. Listen, if it's coming from the outside, it may be good, it may be bad, it may be anything in between. But if it's coming from the outside, the one thing we know it's not you. Unless what is coming from the outside actually resonates with you. How many of the thoughts that run through your mind in a 24-hour period were your own original thoughts? Most of what we think about all day long is something that somebody told us. Somebody said, this is the way it is. And we went, well, I don't really think so, but you surrender at some point. What we're trying to get you to surrender to is being yourself, not surrendering to other people's opinions about what you are. So that's the intro. I was born on the left angle cross of migration. I'm a 6'2" role model hermit. My authority is emotional. Everybody thinks emotions are female and male is something else. No, not at all. I'm a very emotional man, very proud and happy to be one. When we start feeling what we're doing before we're doing it, that will correct a tremendous amount of behavior in the collective. How could we do something harmful to someone else if we could feel what we're doing at the same time? This is where we're going. We're going to a place where there's emotional awareness, okay? Not flying off the handle one way or the other, but emotionally clear. So this is where we're heading. We're in that transition right now. Everybody on this planet is talking about a shift. They have many different languages and many different opinions about that. Human design gives very exact language that you will understand. At any rate, that's the opening salvo. That's who I am. That's what I've done. There'll be a lot more of that, but this isn't a show about me and Ben. This is ultimately a show about human design, an introduction. And so we'll go back to that.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I keep moving. So let's take a brief look on, what do we have? Oh, this one is a little bit, we're in 2021 now. Let's take a look on what do we have, 2021, 2020, that's kind of like where it started. But this is general, the problems, the humanity crisis. Today, we are all facing an identity crisis due to the conditioning of school, society, jobs, or whatever the case is. As Tom say, most of the time during the day, we are thinking about things that originally it's not our thoughts. It doesn't come from us. It has nothing to do with who we truly are. And there's a big conditioning, which bring an identity crisis to the point of self-hatred. We lost the connection to source energy. We gave our power away to institution, having a result of a high expectation, when everyone is talking about politics and votes and all of that. And it's really giving your power away. Letting people taking care of you, asking for advice, asking for opinions, letting people telling you when you should go out, how you should do things, what you should do, and where you all of that, this is really giving power away. We have a huge amount of frustration, bitterness, and anger in this world. All of that is leading to depression, mental anxiety, stress, burnout, illness, competition with one another, drama control, codependency relationship, always drama in relationship, controlling the other, unworthy feelings, scarcity, fears, not being good enough, avoiding confrontation and truth about our emotions, looking for love, always looking for a new partner, looking for direction, looking for a purpose, the meaning of life, blah, 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 violence, domination, and, the worst, that was fight for the toilet papers. I think this one was kind of like a pretty remarkable. But anyway, that's what we had last year. That's what we have this year. That's what humanity is in some way. And it's really sad. You know, it's looking on a very objective point of view. Now, in 1987, to talk about design, in 1987, Mr. Wa-Uhu-U, who was born under the name of Robert Kraken Allen. Robert was a Canadian, born in 1948, and he was a professor, a teacher, a very scientific person, very strategic and logical person. And he was teaching at the University of Montreal. And eventually, beginning of the 80s, end of the 70s, he moved to Europe and he went to Ibiza. And in 1987, he had what he called an encounter with the voice. During 8 days and 8 nights, we're not going to talk too much about that. We have tons of videos on the YouTube channel. If you guys are interested, I will give you the link. You can go look it up. But during 8 nights and 8 days, he got an encounter with the voice. He had an amazing experience where the voice came and told him, are you ready to work now? And all this information have been forced in his head. He didn't ask for it. He didn't want to have that. All the information was forced in his head. And for the next 30 years almost, he has been sharing the information into the world, passing this knowledge, and he died in 2011 after almost 25 years of putting the information, the knowledge out into this world. So that's the beginning of human design. One of the first things that I want to share with you, to be clear, it isn't moralistic. Life isn't moralistic. The mind, the human mind, is making life moralistic, is making things moralistic, is making situation moralistic. There's no such things as good or bad. Life is just what it is. When you think about the word justice, you break it down, it's just is. It's just what it is. There's nothing moralistic here. Human design is not, let's be clear. If you are here looking for more money, more sex, more manifestation, more whatever, you're in the wrong class. You're wasting your time and you're not gonna like that. This is not something for more money or more sex. This is not something to learn how to manifest more things in your life, more stuff in your life. The keynote here, the keynote that we're gonna use, and really the foundation that we're gonna lay down here, there's no free will. There's no control. We are not in charge. We are passenger consciousness experiencing at its highest level what it means to be the universe incarnate into the meat, into the form. We are passenger consciousness incarnate into the world of the form. There is no reason. It is what it is. We are here to have an experience. We are spiritual beings by design, having a human experience. But by nature, we are pure consciousness experiencing a journey. That's what it is. There's no need to control anything. There's no need to prove anything. There's nothing to achieve here in this life. It is happening. It really is. Alan Watts, one of my great teachers, the meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. Life is very simple. To introduce you the design in a different way, for you to understand, we're going to talk about the humanity evolutionary journey. That's how humanity have been changing, transforming, mutating during the last couple of 100 years. Something happened in 1781. And if you truly pay attention of what we're going to share tonight, that must be your takeaway. That must be your takeaway. In 1781, a mutation happened. We mutate, we genetically mutate from the 7th center to the 9th center. We mutate from 7 chakra in the body to 9 chakra in the body. We are not anymore 7 chakra in the body. Since 1781, we are not 7 center anymore. The 7 center, so the Homo sapiens who was 7 center in the body, okay, was here for the last 90,000 years. What is 90,000 years? Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And it was strategic and logical. It was extremely strategic and logical. And since 1781, we have been mutated into the Homo sapiens intransitus 9 center, who is extremely receptive, passive and receptive. The beauty of the 9 center, and this is your takeaway, is that we are not designed. We are not designed to worry for survival. We are not. And yet, everybody is constantly worrying for survival. How can I pay my bills? What can I do at the end of the month? How I need more money. I need to buy my food. I need to have a shelter. Everyone is constantly worrying for survival. We are not. At a moment you can drop that, you can fully understand what it means and let it go. We are not strategic and logical anymore. This is deeply in our DNA. And yet we are still living in a time where everyone is acting like a 7 center. That's what the 7 center mind is doing. Panicking, comparing, judging, criticizing, worrying for survival, competing one another, you good, you bad, I'm good, I'm better, all of that. This is all 7 center mind. We are not designed for this anymore. This is the biggest things that I invite you to remember. At the moment you understand that we are 9 center, which is mean. We are passenger consciousness in the body. We can clearly differentiate, as Tom said, crystals and the magnetic monopole in our body, which is all about, I'll show you here. Everything that is in black, when you're going to look at your body graph, it's your personality. And the personality is the backseat rider. We are sitting in the body as a passenger. We are not in control. We are watching life. We are witnessing as a witness the movie of our life, right? And the design crystal, which is all the information that is in red, represent our vehicle, so the body. And the magnetic monopole here, without going too much into details, is the driver. This is what is driving us. It has the monopole of the vehicle and the passenger, and it is driving us into time-space reality. So we don't have to do anything. We just need to align the passenger and the vehicle. So the passenger is not yelling anymore at the driver and telling him, turn left, turn right, I want to go there, I want to do that. All of that. Just surrender. And the way we can surrender, because, you know, all those Buddhist people keep telling us, the hippy-dippy, yeah, you need to surrender with your life. Surrendering actually means following your strategy and your authority. And when you surrender to the strategy and your authority according to your type, then you get the chance to see what's here for you. You really get the chance to see what's your purpose. Your purpose is unfolding right in front of you. You start to discover all those things that you knew about you. You start finally giving credit. You get finally making peace with your own behavior. Why am I behaving like that? I don't like this about me. I want to change that. Or I don't, you know, no. You start finally accepting yourself. And there's no more shame, blame, or whatever the case is. Right? When you are in the not self, and that's the big things in human design, the entire world is living a life as a not self, which is the mind. Everyone is caught up in the mind. You think you know something about yourself? Let me know. You know nothing about who you are. You think you know. You think you're badass, spiritual, hippie, whatever the case is. I mean, I've been doing that for 10 years almost. I saw thousands of people and they all have the same look, deep self-hatred in the eyes. It's time to go back to the innocence, to let go the mind. When you are deep in the not self, the primary part is the avoidance of pain. People don't want to let go of the life that they are living because it's way too painful. What you need to recognize is the illusion of self that is created by the conditioning. The mind is pushing us to live out of our not self, who we think we are. And it will only lead you to suffering. A very good book is The Power of Now. Very, very good book. The frustration, the bitterness, the anger, the disillusion, all this conditioning happens when you make a decision from your openness, from your mind. You know, your mind is telling you you should go there because you really don't want to rock the boat and avoid confrontation with this person. And you really have to prove yourself because, you know, if you don't prove that you're very worthy and a good friends, they may gonna leave you, they're not gonna accept you and like you. And, you know, you really need to work hard because if you don't work hard, you know, you may not gonna be able to survive and blah, blah, blah. And it's all mind stuff. And the more resistance you have, burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, they are just an indication that you are not living correctly as yourself. That's it. That's it. Very simple. The mind spoken. And this is going to be very uncomfortable. I'm going to go through this and then I will ask Tom if he has anything else that he would like to say as well. But you know, if you take a look on your design, if you take your chart, if you look up at your chart, you know, you're going to find your chart. You're going to find some centers who are colored in, and you're going to see some centers that are not colored. That's what we call defined centers and undefined centers. And you're going to see those undefined centers, they have, you know, a speech pattern. They really do have a speech pattern. And that's where the mind is speaking as a third person. This is what we call not self-team, open centers. I mean, the entire world is always looking with an open head to be inspiring. I need to be an inspiring person. I need to inspire people. How can I be inspiring? What is inspiring? Thinking about things that don't matter. Constantly thinking about things that don't matter. How can I resolve those problems? How can I solve people's problems? Or let me help you solve this problem. Or how can I be inspiring? Where is inspiration? Who can answer the doubts and the confusion that I have? I have so many questions in my head. Who can help me to solve those questions? Or let me help you to solve those problems. Let me be inspiring. Everyone is trying to sell you inspiration. All the time, everything, everywhere is about having a better life, an inspiring girlfriend, an inspiring relationship, an inspiring body, an inspiring personality, all of those crap. And then it goes down into the ajna, pretending to be certain. I mean, look at the movie, you know, if you have an open head and an open ajna, you're going to pretend that you are certain that what you are doing is inspiring. Your mind is like, I know better. I need to know. We need to figure it out. What is the next step in my life? Where can I go to find out my life? I need to figure it out. I need to be inspiring. I know I am certain I'm right. I know that I'm right. Then you're going to go into a fight, you know, with the boyfriend, the husband, the wife, the parents, the friends, you know, in your job, whatever the case is. You go into a fight because you want to be certain. You're so scared of being stupid. You're so scared of just, I don't know. You're so scared of saying, I don't know what, or how come you don't know? You're really not inspiring. I mean, get the joke. And then we're going down, you know, the throat, the heart, the G, the spleen, all of those center, they're all speaking. Look at this. Open root, always in a hurry to be free of pressure. You know, you have an open root in your chart. You're constantly in the rush, constantly. And you're gonna just keep judging yourself for being lazy. you know, in a hurry, and you have a to-do list of 50 things to do in your day. And you know, you start your to-do list at 8 a.m. At 9 a.m. you're done doing your 50 things, and then you have another to-do list waiting for you. You know, it's crazy, insane. And if you have an open heart, do I think I have something to prove? I mean, this is the world. Almost 70% of the world have an open heart. Everyone is looking to prove something, proving their worth, proving their value, proving who they are, proving that they're certain, proving that they're inspiring, you know, people, you know, avoiding confrontation and truth here, proving that they know better. They don't want to avoid the confrontation. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say that because they're like, oh, we have to be nice, you know, and then the spleen, open spleen in a relationship, they're going to hold on to what isn't good for them. They're going to hold on a, you know, less paid job because they want to prove that they are worthy, that they deserve this job. And then, you know, if you're a projector, you're just going to end up not knowing when enough is enough. You're going to work like a fucking slave. You know, you're going to just keep working like a slave because you want to prove your worth. You don't want to let go because you're so scared on how you're going to survive, and you have no sense of identity and direction. So you are looking for something that is inspiring. And, you know, on the top of that, you have an open throat. Oh, this is the whole movie, trying to attract attention constantly, and you want to manifest. I'm going to manifest my life. I'm going to manifest this. Let me work hard. Let me prove that I'm worthy. Let me prove that I know better than you. I am certain. I am so inspiring. I'm in a rush. Yeah. And then you burn out. Yeah. Good life. Welcome to America. You know? I mean, this is crazy. This is insane. This is what we can offer to you. You know? The chance to decondition your mind, making decision for you, taking decision for you, driving you insane. You know? Tom, anything you would like to say?
Well, did he prove to you what he is? He told you from the very beginning, I'm going to try to prevent you from being homogenized. Homogenization was not good for milk. What in the world makes them think it's good for people? You look at all these faces in this Zoom room. Do you see two that are exactly alike? So why should anything else about us be exactly the same? We're all very unique. Now bear in mind, in a presentation like this, it's collective, okay? And the first thing, Ben has a channel of initiation, same Ra had, punch you in the face. See if you're teachable. See if you learn. See if you're interested in anything else. If you're happy with your life, you probably wouldn't be here. If you're a generator and you're satisfied, you don't need to be here. But if you're frustrated, this is a good place for you to be. If you're a manifester and you're peaceful, you don't need to be here. But if you're angry, you might want to stop in and find out why. And it's not your fault. The conditioning can be positive, it can be negative. And who's going to make the decision whether what's coming from the outside is for you? There's only one person that can make a decision for you. That's you. Why should everybody else be making your decisions? If someone else is making your decisions, you're living the life they think you're supposed to be living. Wouldn't it be nice just to live your own life? The sign of nature, the signature for a manifester is peace. The sign of nature, the signature for a generator is satisfaction. For a projector, it's sweetness. For a reflector, it's being surprised. What's the not self? Anger, frustration, bitterness, disappointment. Look at the world. Now, I'm not saying that's all there is in the world, but I'm saying that's a lot of what's in the world. And here's a guy who, born on the cross of prevention, who wants to prevent you from getting caught up in that whirlpool of nonsense. And it's not about, we're going to homogenize you a different way. No. The moment one of these charts comes up and we talk about that person who we've never been in the same room with, never smelled, don't even know who they are, that person will say, how do they know that? So hopefully we get an opportunity to do some of that. So bear in mind, the first thing you have to do, if you want to get somewhere else, you have to be willing to leave where you're at. If you're not willing to leave where you're at, you're going to be there. And if you're happy being there, okay, that's fine. But I don't see a really happy world right now. I see a war going on everywhere. I see people struggling. You know, we're the only species that pays to live on this world. We're supposed to be the crown of creation. We're the only one that pays rent here. We're the only one that has such a difficult time with all this stuff. We're the only ones that are under such pressure. You know, we think it's all competition. It's not, it's cooperation. Here's a very sobering thought. You want to know, we're what we call upright bipeds. We stand on 2 feet and stand upright, right? So you're an upright biped. You want to know the second most dangerous thing to an upright biped? Anybody got an idea? It's another upright biped.
Yeah.
Now, if that don't scare the hell out of you, you're too damn brave or too damn stupid. But the bottom line is the only thing that kills more of us than one of us is a damn mosquito. Think about that. How far from the mouth of the cave have we really come? So it's time for a movement to happen, and people can feel it. Everybody feels it. The old systems are breaking down, and everybody's so scared.
Yeah, it's not you. It's just my idea of a journey.
Up. There we go. Sorry.
Okay. So at any rate, I'm going to let Ben stay in his flow.
Mhm.
At some point, you're going to decide that this is for you or not. By the way, that's the point of human design, to be able to make your decisions correctly as yourself.
Mhm.
Then you get the privilege of living your own life. You'll last longer. You'll be more comfortable in your body. Your signature will be something pleasant to live with as opposed to something else. So that's the beginning. It's a big topic, but it's very simple.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And like all learning, and we see that a lot in our society today, with Amazon, Uber Eats, and everything that we have. We want everything right now. We order on our cell phone the day after we get it, even like the same day. We have fast food. We have everything is fast. But we forget the most important natural thing is when we go into nature. A tree doesn't grow in a day. It takes years. Everything needs time. If you go into the human design system because you resonate with it, all learning, real learning, takes 7 years. It will take you 7 years to change approximately all of the cells in your body. We live in a 7-year cycle. The moment that you begin to come to your own nature, the moment that you allow your body to live at its life without resistance, you begin a deep process of deconditioning, and it will take 7 years, and 7 years later, you emerge quite literally as a new being, yourself. And I really have I don't even know how to say, but I can't even recognize the person that Ben was 7 years ago. This is not me. I really don't know who was this person, but certainly not me. It takes time, dedication, and patience. That's why Tom and I today, we have classes, we have the hub. I will talk a little bit more about that, but we build a community where we support you during your journey. We have Zoom, weekly Zoom. We support people during this transformation, because 2027 is coming. And when it's going to be here, it's going to be ugly. For people who are not ready for the shift, that's going to be ugly, right? Okay, let me continue. The 4 basics that you want to take a look on yourself, on your own, and I invite you to do this at any time after the meeting or during your meeting right now, whenever you want. But the 4 basics in human design, and I invite you to take a look. It's your channels, your type. So your aura, This is the mechanic of the Maya. It's how you play the music. Your aura is doing the talking, you know? And out of that, you want to take a look on your strategy, your authority, and your profile. It will give you tremendous information on how you can navigate in this plane, and who are you listening, who can you listen when it comes about making decisions. So your own authority, you have your inner authority. Is who do you listen to? Are you listening dad, mom, TV, whatever the case is? Your mind, your thoughts. When you have a mechanic built in yourself that you can really trust, that's usually what we call intuition, or your gut, or, you know, everyone have a very specific authority. And you always knew that about yourself, always. And yet you don't trust it. You know, how many times you end up in a situation, you're like, fuck yeah, I knew it, I shouldn't have done that. I knew it, he wasn't good for me. Oh, I knew it. How many times? Because you simply just cannot trust yourself, because you doubt. Because no one gave you the manual of yourself to trust, you know? And it's funny that everyone is like, I want to reconnect. I'm reconnecting to my divine essence. Yeah, you know, I went to this workshop for 2 days. It was so good. We reconnect to the divine, and I reconnect with my past life, goddess Shiva, Urumakni. Yeah, fuck that shit. I give you the opportunity right now to reconnect to yourself. You know, enough of the DP hippie. Connect to yourself now. And that's what those 4 basic in design can do for you. You look up your type, you will get a tremendous information on how you have been genetically designed to navigate, to who you are. What is your aura? You know, it's how you play the music. Your strategy, how you navigate. Your authority, who do you listen to? And then your profile. This is your role, the role that you are here to play. Living your design is what the knowledge of human design is all about. It's in the experiment of transforming your life decision by decision, little step after little step. Is when your intuition is telling you turn left, and you find the courage to listen and you turn left. And then you're like, wow, this is so cool. I'm so glad I trusted myself on this one. Boom, you validate it. And the next time, when the outside circumstance is a little bit more intense, but your intuition still gonna say, turn left. Well, the mind is like, yeah, no, you see how here, you should really turn right. But then you can stand and you can say, yeah, but last time I turned left and I was right. So I'm gonna turn left again, and I'm gonna listen this feeling. And the more you do that, the more you build a strong foundation with yourself, right? So we have 4 types, and millions of variation, but we do have 4 types. And what the type is doing actually, is that it is a frequency, and each type has a strategy, authority, a not self team, and a signature. The aura is an extraordinary thing. Each and every one of you, according to your type, has an aura that does the talking. Let your aura do the talking. If you're a manifester, your aura is very closed and repelling. It is here to protect you when you inform people on the action that you want to take, so you can know the impact of your actions. And then you can just go and do it. That's what manifestors are here for. So your aura are going to protect you, so you can just go and do things, you know? So then you get the chance to experiment your signature, the sign of nature, which is peace. So you're at peace with your action because you genuinely inform people around you. You're aware of your impact. And if you don't do that and you go outside like an idiot, you're going to get a lot of anger. As a generator, and most of you are generator, you know, 70% of the population, 70, we are here to respond. Your aura is deeply open and enveloping. It's like a giant cosmic hug. You know, you take everything in and then we respond. The strategy is to wait to respond. Stop going around initiating things like an idiot. Just wait. It's coming to you. I mean, how awesome it is. You can. I'm giving you the permission to sit, to wait, to relax, to chill the fuck out, and things will come to you. I mean, how amazing it is. You don't even need to go out and trying to make anything happen. It will come to you. You can just sit here and make sound. Yes, I want this. I don't want this. I want this. I don't want this. It's so simple. And if you do that, well, then you engage your energy correctly and you get the chance to be satisfied for the work that you are doing. Otherwise, believe me, it's frustrating. A lot of frustration. How many of you are frustrated in this life? How many of you are not deeply satisfied? It's just frustrating. Frustration, you know? If you're a projector, your aura is deeply penetrating, focused. You are here to be invited, projectors. You are here to be recognized and to be seen for your gift. But as long as no one is recognizing you, seeing you, there's nothing to do. Without any invitation, there's nothing to do, nothing to say. Shut the fuck up and wait. Wait. Stop running around like an idiot trying to be seen and recognized. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. But the only thing that you get is bitterness. You pissed off people. They're not going to see you. They're just going to see the not self within you. And then, you know, you end up being a slave. Yeah, Rachel, she's like, I'm laughing so hard. I know. I mean, I've been seeing you projectors, you know, it's quite funny. It's very interesting. See, if I go outside and I just look at the walls and it's interesting. So patience, projectors, you will get the right invitation. But for that, focus on you, do your own little things. You are here to master the form, master the system. Patience. And reflector, you know, this is something else. They have a very simple aura. They taste. Once a month, they come, they take a sample. There's progress here. Or, you know, still super fucked up here. You know, they give us a sample. And they can be surprised with life is they wait 28 days before making any decision, so they don't end up disappointed. So recognize that this is the way in which you interact with the world. Your aura is basically doing the talking. Every time you walk into a room, you go out into the world. What you put is your aura. See, what's funny is that everyone is dressing up, putting so much makeup and perfume and all of that, shampoo so we can smell good, and all those clothes and fancy things. But no one is thinking about the aura. No one is thinking about the energy that we are bringing out into the world every time that we're getting out of the house. You know? I mean, you can smell good with tons of perfume and look good, but if you enter in my aura and you smell like shit because you're full of frustration, I mean, I'm gonna feel that. How many times you enter in a room and you say, I don't feel him. I don't like this person. I don't know why, but I just don't feel him. I don't feel her. I don't feel it. Your aura is preventing you. Your aura just knows. And see very clearly that in order for your aura to be healthy, in order for you to be healthy, you need to honor your strategy of your type.
There's gray one.
And then your aura and you are one. You know? Tom, please.
So where'd all this nonsense come from? We are living in a world full of manifester propaganda. How do we start a conversation? What do you do? I clean toilets for a living. You want to keep talking about it? What difference does it make what you do? Why couldn't we ask people? And here's a very intimidating question to the average person. Tell me something about yourself. Who are you? Wouldn't it be far more interesting to ask that question as opposed to what do you do? Oh, you're a bricklayer. So what? Tell me something about yourself. Okay. So manifestor propaganda is what rules the world right now. 9% of the people on this planet are manifestors, and half of them are emotional manifestors. So even the half of the 9% of people that are actually here to initiate something have to wait to be clear before they initiate it. So 97% of humanity needs to have some kind of a response to something before they decide. And it needs to be their response, not a response that you've been conditioned to have. Okay. So, you know, Facebook, they call it social media. I call it anti-social media. Nobody talks about themselves. They talk about where they've been, what they do, where they drive, where they live, whatever. You know, this human design. It's like going to a nudist colony. There's no place to run. There's no desire to run. There's no place to hide. There's no desire to hide. Think about all the energy that's available if you can simply be yourself in the presence of other people. And how you be yourself is understanding your type, how that operates, the strategy that comes from that, the authority. This gives you the ability to make a decision correctly as yourself. There's nothing wrong with being popular. There's nothing wrong with being successful. But if your desire is success and popularity, and that is your primal desire, who's making your decisions? The people you want to be popular with. So whose life are you living? The life they think you're supposed to be living. So this is where the identity crisis comes from. We live in a world full of manifestor propaganda. We're not picking on manifestors. They served their purpose. They were very good. They kept us alive. There's plenty of us running around right now. It's not about survival anymore. It's not about survival, and it's not about even just being interesting. It's how does it feel at the end of the day? This is where we're going. We're going to emotional awareness. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what I drive. I don't care where I live. I care about how I feel at the end of the day. Did I have to rape, rob, and pillage to have what I have? You're not going to feel very good about that. It all comes to us. You know, we all have an agenda. Oh, I have a schedule. I have this thing I have to do. I got to go. I got to go. I got to. You miss what the universe is offering. I have done that for 68 years. I am over it. I wake up in the morning and see what comes to me. I'm a manifesting generator, emotional. I have to be hard to get. You call me once, you're not going to get a hold of me. Call me twice, you might. Third time, I start paying attention. You see what I'm saying? We're so willing to give up all of our energy for something that's meaningless. There's another option, folks. That's the whole purpose of human design. There's another option. And please bear in mind, what is being said so far is trying to shatter the old so that you can be open and receptive to finding the way the universe actually works and how to live in it as a peaceful, satisfied, sweet, surprised human being. We're not human doings, we're human beings. But how do we start a conversation? What do you do? Something to ponder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. We have a little bit more to discuss on the topic. If you do have any questions, comments, or observation, please really feel free to put your comments, your questions, anything in the chat, and we can do a little bit questions time at the end. I'm trying to keep up with questions and reading, if you guys put anything. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. This is a very general information, and I'm going to continue with that. So now we have a good understanding. Let refresh and summarize. We had a little history on what is happening on Earth. We know now that the person who got the information is Ra, and he had a mystical experience in 1987 on Ibiza for 8 days, 8 nights. Then he spent the rest of his life putting this knowledge outside. We know that human design is unmoralistic. We are not judging anything here. We are not saying this is good or bad. It's just what it is. Even if you are not self with me, I'm not going to say this is good or bad. I'm just going to be, well, are you correct for yourself? And then, it's your choice. We cover quickly what human design is not. We take a look on, life is very simple. Just allow it to be. We saw that we moved from the 7th center to the 9th center. And this is key point here. We moved from the strategic logical mind to the receptive, passive and receptive human being. We are deeply passive and receptive. There's nothing to do. It's coming to us. Are we receptive to what is coming? 92% of the population is genetically designed with a strategy that is wait. Projector waiting for an invitation, generators wait to respond, reflector wait for a lunar cycle. Everyone is designed to wait. Then we took a brief look on how it works in the body. So we have the passenger consciousness that is sitting at the backseat rider as a backseat rider passenger. We have the design crystal, which is all about the vehicle, so our form or body. This is our vehicle. And what we are seeing on Earth today is the conflict between the personality of who we think we are, and the body that is driving us by the magnetic monopole. So the body is driving us to the left, but we as a passenger think that this is to the right. We need to go to the right, when as a matter of fact, it's never what we think we want. It's never, if you're really honest with yourself and you write down everything that you think you want to have, well, you may end up by being very disappointed and realizing you don't really want those things after all. Then we took a look quickly on the not self, what the not self is. It's like the mind acting like a third person speaking in your head. This is the openness. So we have very specific language pattern that the mind is using. And when you guys are, coming to class and doing the class, the deconditioning, we are giving you all of those very specific language pattern and exercise while I'm writing for you to see it, to do your own shadow work in some way. This is doing the work here. It takes time. 4 basics: your type, strategy, authority, profile. That's 4 things that you can do on your own. And we took a look briefly on what the aura does, which is very important to recognize. Let your aura do the talking. Now, what is happening today in 2021, August 26th of 2021? In 1615, humanity entered into what we call the incarnation cross of planning. This is what we call a global cycle. In 1615, we had a new global cycle that will end in 2027. In 2027, we're going to move from the incarnation cross of planning into the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix, into the incarnation cross of the sleeping phoenix. This is a background frequency. Right now, the background frequency here, and we can see the difference really between the two of them. Let me show you. Right now, the background frequency that we have is here. We have a bargain that is focused on details and skills. The bargain is all about making more babies, making more, because, we always want more. And because we have more, we need more institution, we need the propaganda, we need all of that. We have a need for God. My tribe is better than yours. My God is better than yours. All of this, this is what we are in right now. And this is ending. This is ending that when you go to the train station, the train will leave on time at 12:06. The plane will take off at 1 p.m. and 15 minutes. All of that is ending. It's ending when you have the expectation of calling 911 and someone going to pick the phone. It's ending when you go to Whole Food and you're going to have food. This is all going away. It's not going to be here anymore. You don't want to wake up in 2027, you're going to go to Whole Food, it's going to be empty. It's not going to be food anymore here. No one will pick up the phone. All of that is going away. The only reason why it is possible, it's because the background frequency, the program that we are living in right now, is supporting all of that. And I know it's hard to believe because it has been here for the last 400 years. So everyone thinks that nothing will change and everyone is trying to go back to normal, but normal is nothing else than sitting on the dryer. It's going away. And in 2027, we're going to shift into the incarnation cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is all about, sorry, I'm busy, I don't have time for you. It's me, I'm busy, I don't have time for you. It's going to be a completely different background frequency. I can talk hours and hours and hours about that. I don't want to talk too much about it. This is what we are doing every Sunday in the hub. We are connecting, we are looking at the transit, we are talking about 2027. It's very interesting. The truth, the real truth is that we don't know. Nobody knows. 2027 is coming. We have no idea. We never ever have been in this position, but we are willing to witness. We are willing to observe. And with the sleeping phoenix, keep in mind also the information that we are giving you today. It's a perspective as a 6-2. We are 6-2. We are giving you a perspective as a 6-2. As a sixth line, we are optimist. We are very objective people. And the objectivity about 2027 is that we're going to have a choice. Gate 55. Can you see the cup half empty or half full? The gate 55 is the abundance. So we are believing that it's going to be a lot of abundance here, providing for us, for those who are ready to answer the call. If you listen raw as a 5-1 paranoid insecure, he's telling you that 2027 is the end of the world. Well, it is, in some way, but it's paranoid insecure. You have a different point of view. You have a different perspective. But yes, the program is ending and we are moving into something new. What we have today, the great mystery of the program, is that the program has physical theme. That's what the program is. And every 400 years, those themes changed. You have to look at this as a global cycle. When today you go to Whole Food or supermarket or whatever the case is, you're pretty happy to not seeing dinosaur. You're pretty happy to not seeing Neanderthal or Cromanian man, right? It was an evolution. So it's the same with us. We are always in mutation and changing. So the program has been penetrating us for hundreds of years. We are all born under the cross of planning. We are all born under the first line frequency, which is all about fear-based motivation. So we just don't know anything else than that. That's what we were born into this program, under this background frequency. And for people who are first line, it may be way more scary. The sixth line is coming. And for the sixth line, we're feeling we're going to live in our time, finally, So what the 4037 is, when we look at here, the 4037, this is the bargain. But we're going to talk about the background frequency, because this is the channel of community, and Tom is a 4037, and believe me, there's a tremendous benefit, beauty in the 4037. But unfortunately, in a negative way, how human beings have been, behaving. They're just being not self. We could have lived in a beautiful bargain, but no, we didn't get the chance to see a beautiful bargain. The bargain was what? You work for us, and I will give you the affection you need, and in return, you have the rich bargain to fulfill the demand of the community. So the 37 hexagram has the need for God, the need for the temple, the need for the house, the need for whatever the case is, people. And the 40, which is like the elite, that is controlling the resources, instead of having a beautiful bargain so we can all be in a community. We just have been living a north-south of the program, you know? So look at this, the true industrial age, more babies led to a number of demands, education began, the grid programming began, the propaganda, the institution, etc. Where is the loyalty of the bargain? The people are sick and tired of working like slaves to keep a very small minority at the top. And that's what the 4037 is. That's the program we are in right now. And this program is falling apart. Everything is for us, the 40, which is the elite. Nothing is for the community. It's deeply controlled world. But what the sleeping phoenix is all about, 2027, be your own authority. That's what it is. Be your own authority. Enough of taking an order from those people. That's why when we're going to hit 2027, oh, if the bargain is not correct, you know, it's not going to be here anymore. I mean, I've been 5 years in the military. I've been told I need to go in Afghanistan or in Iraq or in Africa and kill those people because they don't behave the way we behave, because they are eating different food, because I smell differently, because I have a different God, because I dress differently, because they are terrorists. You know? I'm like, idiot, we go. But these, in 2027, forget it. They're going to look at you. What? You want me to go in another country and kill everyone because they simply don't behave the way we think we should behave or they should behave? Yeah, forget about that, dude. Your own authority. You want me to get a shot? You want me to put something in my body that I'm not even aware of what it is? You want me to do that for you, for the safety of I don't know what? No, forget that. I am my own authority. That's what human design is all about. We are giving you the chance to stand on your 2 feet in this world as yourself, with yourself and without any fear of being who you are. That's what design is. And that's what power is. The possibility to be yourself and to respect yourself, to honor yourself, to love yourself, to recognize that when you say yes to something, you really mean it, to recognize that when you say no to something, you really mean it. But mostly, to also discern that when you say yes, you are not saying no to yourself. You are saying yes because you really want to say yes. That's what design is. So there is no control here after all. The program is doing its things. It is moving us, it is penetrating us. And that's what we saw right at the beginning with, the transit. The program is moving every day. It's clicking in the wheel. Click, clack, tick tock, tick tock. It's coming. It's really coming. So now you have the chance, you choose your boat, which boat you want to be in. And remember, it's not about blaming or shaming people who don't choose the boat. Everyone is free. Everyone is free. But the madness is the vanity of human beings, thinking that they are in control and, that, yeah, I don't get that. Quickly, the system is breaking down. There's no one you can depend on. There's no one you can really rely on. And truly, there's no one you can trust but yourself. That's what human design is. And when you are correct and you are operating correctly, that trust in yourself is your armor for this life, because you just know it's not correct for me. It will protect you. It will guide you, because it's precisely what you are here for, to be yourself. And we are the ones, our generation, who stand at the edge of this precipice, We are the ones that are here to demonstrate the correctness of the way. That's what 6 lines are here for, to demonstrate. It's not the time of gurus and coaches anymore, of listening Swamsi's Wama Bjorni in India telling you how you should brush your teeth and what you should dress and when you should make love and you know, no, it's not the time anymore. Last things, the precession of the equinox. It's what is happening in 2027. We're going from the first line to the 6th line. It's going to be a massive jump, you know, massive jump. The first line can be, but it's not designed only for that. But the first line can be very fearful, can be deeply paranoid and insecure. And in the first line, there's a lot of beauty because it's setting the foundation for the hexagram. But we're going in a massive jump into the 6th line. And the 6th line is very aloof, detached from the rest of the hexagram. The 6th line is all about show me, demonstrate to me, live it. Stop telling me what to do. Are you doing it for yourself? Stop being a hypocrite. That's what the 6th line is all about. We're going to be in a very, very, very different world. So I hope you guys enjoy the webinar. There's so much that we can say. But I really like this with, you know, Morpheus, and he brings a little bit of a mysticism and a little bit of a, you know, fantasy. But this is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. And that's the truth. When you jump into human design, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed, you believe whatever you want to believe, and you just keep doing your life. It's fine. If you're happy, keep doing that. If you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland with us, and we show you how deep the rabbit hole can go. But remember, and this is true, remember, we are only offering you the truth, nothing more. We are giving you the possibility to see by yourself what it means to be yourself and to live as yourself. That's what Morpheus said in the Matrix. For that, you guys are going to have tons of possibilities and options and choice. I have a YouTube channel where there's tons of free knowledge. It's very simple. It's Benjamin Torre. You can find tons of different videos. There's the podcast on the human design system that we did with Tom last year. It's all on the YouTube channel as well. There's tons of videos, transit reports. There's a lot of interview. There's all the interview with Tom. They're amazing interviews. So there's tons of information. One of the things that is really important that I want to mention to you, who are you listening to? You're going to find out there hundreds of people, thousands of people talking of human design. There's a difference between knowing and knowing. Knowing and not doing, it's not knowing. So many people think they know about design, but they don't live it. The point of this knowledge is to live it. It's not about having another mental tool so you can go sell your propaganda to someone else and make money. There's nothing wrong with making a living, and that's what we are doing. But before making a living, we have been living this. Be sure where you get your information. So you have the YouTube channel, you have the podcast on Spotify as well. You have the podcast that is on the YouTube channel. You can find Tom and myself on Facebook. You can find myself on Instagram under Ben Life Changer. I can write you all of that in the chat if you want. Ben like this, Life Changer up, and you can find tons of information. If you are interested in getting your own reading, you can contact me or you can contact Tom. Tom is offering reading as well, as am I offering readings. And Tom and I are putting class together. This is where you can get your foundation, is what we call the Emergence of Living Your Design. This is a 9-week course on Zoom. We limit to 10 people. We have 2 classes going on at the moment. I have one in French and one in English. This is $549 US. It's an amazing journey. John is taking the class at the moment. That's why it was like, I really want to introduce all of that to my people. So I'm very grateful he did. John is, by the way, a community person. he has the channel 3740. And you can see a very healthy example of using this channel. He's finding his own place in the tribe. He's nourishing the tribe. He's making promises and delivering the promises to his tribe, delivering the support, the emotional support for the tribe. So there's tons of things that can be said. But that's another example. So we have classes, we have individual readings. If you want to go deep into your own personal charts, that's what we do. You can book session with Tom or myself. And we have this beautiful platform that I created that is on the Mighty Network that calls the Hub 27. So I'm going to put you the link in the chat as well if you are interested in it. Oh, awesome, Jonah, you just follow me. Cool, awesome. I'm going to take a look. Yeah, awesome. Just reading in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure. It's a great pleasure. We're going to take questions. So this is the hub. This is what we have. I just put it in the chat. You have an app you can use on your phone. And basically in the hub, as you can see, we have tons of people engaging with one another. We have courses, we have breathwork courses, we have a huge part of self-study audios. So just for your records, but Tom was the personal recording person that stayed with Ra. So he has been recording lectures and human design for 20 years almost with Ra. So all the information, what you can see behind him is the giant library of human design. So we're putting all this information monthly in the hub. So you have access to self-study audio that was recorded from Ra. You have free courses on human design, you have quotes, you have tons of things to do your own personal research, to study, you engage with people, you have people sharing their charts, people commenting, we have weekly Zoom on the Rising Phoenix. So this is our transit or human design podcast every week that is here in the hub. So every week we connect with one another. As you can see here, the last course was about generator. So it was like 7 hours on generator and manifesting generator. It's tons of things here. People sharing their charts, tons of things. And you have a book club as well, where we share PDF and books and tons of things. And it's only $14 monthly. So for only $14, you have access to all of that. It's brilliant. It's amazing. That's all the option that you guys have to, if you are interested in diving into the human design system. I'm going to let you, Tom, if you have anything to say, to add. John, if you have anything to say as well. And then we can take some questions for people if you guys want to do some questions.
Okay, Ben, thank you. All right, folks. So Ben's an initiator. He just got punched in the face. And the punch in the face was not to do any harm. The punch in the face was to wake you up to another possibility. Okay, that's all it's about. Okay, that's what an initiator does. Starts with the 51st hexagram. It's the gate of shock. Pow. Ra, the same thing. Pow, in the face. You want to learn how to swim? Throw them in the water, right? Okay. These things are not going away. They are going through a mutation. Mutation is all about finding a better way. The mutation is about the new files, not the old files. It's not like family and relationship is going away. It's going into mutation so that it can actually be a true relationship rather than a let's make a deal, a coercion that people put up with to stay with one another. It's not what relationship was ever intended to be. Okay, so one thing I'd like to do is go into a little bit of personal information for the crowd, okay? In other words, still collective, but 70% of the population is generators, all right? And a generator it's because you have a defined sacrum. And I want you to think of the word sacrum and sacred and see how they are connected. So if you're a generator and someone is doing something excruciatingly painful to your body, is it very likely you're going to go, that's not going to happen? If you're a generator, you have a very sacred voice. It cannot articulate bullshit. It cannot say, oh, well, maybe. It goes, I can commit my energy to that. Or it goes, I can't commit my energy to that. The 7 out of 10 people are understanding what I'm saying. It becomes personal at this point, okay? So understand, this has been an incredible journey. And it has been the journey that gave me my life back. It is the journey that is giving Ben his life back. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being yourself. If you're actually being yourself, you may find you like that person. How can you like something that's not you? You've been cast in a movie. You don't know the name of the movie. You didn't want to be in the movie in the first place, and yet you show up every day for the damn movie. It's not your movie. Get into your own movie. Live your own life. That's the whole point here. Not about anybody outside of you making a decision. If you're a generator, someone steps into your aura and you feel yourself breathing more deeply and your shoulders are dropping and you feel like you're being pulled to them. You would like more of that? That's a green light. Somebody steps into your aura, you feel you're not breathing as deeply as you were before. Your shoulders are coming around your heart. You just want to back up. That's a red light. You see what I'm saying? So the passenger becomes conscious of the vehicle, and the vehicle enjoys carrying the passenger along its path. This is the whole point. Not about anybody making a decision for you outside of yourself. It's about you having your hands on your steering wheel, steering your vehicle based upon your own decision-making capacity. You make your decisions correctly as yourself, you get the pleasure of living your life. And then you'll get the sweetness rather than the bitterness. You'll get the peace rather than the anger. You'll get the surprise rather than the disappointment. You'll get the sweetness rather than the bitterness. So if you've already got all those things and you're happy, carry on. But if you're feeling a little bit more like the frustration, a little bit more like the lack of peace, a little bit more like the bitterness, like what the hell is going on here, then you're in the right place. And don't believe me, this is not a belief system. You work with your time and your strategy and your authority, and then you come back and tell us whether we're fools or sages. We're not gurus. You don't need a guru. Swami Tukarkaraji is not going to tell you anything other than what he wants you to hear. Okay? You want to be able to get in touch with your own internal voice. It's a huge relief to be free of all the rest of that nonsense. So that's the closing salvo. It was great to have you all here. It was great to be able to share this time with you. So there you go. That's it.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I appreciate the closing salvo to what we all just witnessed and observed here. And Ben, thank you so much for sharing and being in your flow and presenting this material to us. I myself am a deeply conditioned human as a projector. I've been influenced by the world around me, all these manifestors and generators, and it was always difficult for me to make sense of it all. I knew I had this inner authority that I would listen to, and when I made the decision and I made the choice that was deeply resonant within me, life was beautiful. But then there's all these other, again, conditions trying to tell me how to live my life. And as a projector, I, absorbed it, not understanding myself fully. But this has enabled me, I like to say, given me the permission to be who I've always known deep down in myself. And it's not like this, woo-woo thing. It's just, it's the hard science of this is how I behave. And when I behave this way, life is flowing. Life is beautiful. I am happy. I feel good. I love myself. And, like Ben shared earlier, this is something that I want everybody to feel, and I want to bring that community together. So we all are giving ourselves permission to live our authority and how we've always known who we are deep down inside, and not from the conditioning of the outside world. And so, yeah, highly encourage you all to get into the hub. Tons of great resources in there. I've spent hours just listening to the projector audios, and I've listened to the generator audios. And, like Ben said, it's not just about knowing the information just in the mind. It's really about knowing it in your heart and in your body and living that space. And so, there's great information that's going to tune you into this frequency of who you really are. Plus the transits on Sunday mornings are amazing to attend and give, make sense of what's happening in the world. And then there's the breath work, on Saturdays. All of this is a part of it, to open yourselves up to, the possibility of who you really are, to love yourself. And then if you want to go deeper, man, Ben and Tom are, they are the guys. They are the people you want to learn from. It's so cool being in these classes and having them kind of like look at your, your chart, and all of a sudden you have these epiphanies and these realizations of like, oh my gosh, they're speaking into my soul. And it's like they've always known who I've been. And so, if you want more information about yourself, to dive deeper in who you are, contact Ben or Tom, or do the Living Your Design and take this journey. But, like they said, if you're satisfied with who you are and life is good, keep living. That's all that matters. So, yeah, if you guys have questions, ask away. I think Ben has some more time for that, but yeah, super thankful that you guys are all here. I think this is great information that everybody needs to know. And yeah, really blessed. So thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Chipe. Tom, someone, when Jonah was asking for your Instagram, and I say you're an old man, you don't have the Instagram. So
I'm not so much into that stuff, but
yeah,
you can find my email. Oh, by the way, my email is fixing to change, but my email, and you can contact me through email. I like more one-on-one kind of stuff. I'm not so much into the putting posters on people's cars in the parking lot. I'd rather talk to one person that's actually interested. So at any rate, you can find a way to get in touch with me, and I'd be delighted to speak with you. And I always do this thing called a meet and greet. Okay, how can you make a decision about something you don't know that much about? So what we do in a meet and greet is no charge for it. In a meet and greet, we get together on Zoom and we give you some information to work with, and then you can make your decision. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to make a decision correctly as yourself. And then you can make a decision. It isn't about me making a decision. I don't have anything here to sell. Okay, this is not selling things. Yeah, people got to support people. That's all fine and dandy. We're not against making a living, but we don't need to make a killing. Making a living is a different thing than making a killing, right? So at any rate,
Tom, do you want me to put your email? Is that
sure.
swamitom@excite.com? Does this one still work?
It still works until the 31st. I've got to change it because the Excite's folding, okay? And I'm not going to have a blue tie thing. That's going to be the new thing. No, thank you. So I got to come up. I'll probably just go to Gmail or something like that. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But at any rate, people can get in touch. It's not that hard to get in touch, and you can talk to somebody. You'll find me. But projectors. Oh, you're going to love 2027, because when the world gets turned right side up, people are going to be looking for guidance. And that's what the projectors are here to be. They're here to be the guides. All right. So, your time is coming. Everybody's time is coming. Sixth line beings are not the only being. We're just the first over the hill. We're just the first over the hill. We're the way showers. That's what we're here to do. It's not a choice. I don't have any choice about this. Ben, do you have a choice? Well, we have a choice. This is it. This is the choice for us. If you find the same feeling in yourself, then contact us. If you don't, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Questions?
Comments, observations?
I like saying that.
I love it, Ben.
Well, if you guys don't have questions or any comments, observation, thank you very much for showing up, because you have been giving as much as we have been giving time. So we appreciate your presence, and I'm excited to see you. How does a reading go? As Tom say, I'm pretty. Is it beneficial to get a one-on-one reading before taking the 9-week course? Yes, it's pretty cool. Yes. So at least you know into what you enter, and it's nice to have your reading, so you have a foundation. You understand your type, you understand your strategy, your authority, you understand how to make decisions as yourself. You understand channels and few things really deep about yourself. And then when you go into the class, we really put a good foundation on all the centers and the knowledge of what human design is composed, so it's very good. And the reading is very simple. You can, if you want to do with me, you can just reach me, on Instagram or Facebook, Benjamin Torre. If you want to work with Tom, you send him an email. If the email doesn't work, you can reach me, and I will, contact Tom, and we'll let him know that someone is trying to reach out. And then it's over Zoom. So it's over Zoom. I think Tom and I, we put it the same. It's going to be 90 minutes, 2 hours. You have the recording, so you can record your session. You have the video, audio recording of your reading. I charge $175, and Tom charges a little bit more, I think. But he also has an option that I may consider to do eventually, that Tom, I'll let you explain, but he gives you the possibility to do donation or something like that, right?
So a foundation reading is important, but it's just a foundation. Who lays a foundation you don't want to put a house or a building on, okay? So what I tend to do instead of readings, there's a lot of readings out there. I tend to send you all the information that's in a reading. It's already recorded, okay? You get it right from the horse's mouth, all right? And then we take, what I do is consultations, all right? What I like to do is and I've never refused people this information because they couldn't afford it. Nor have I ever spent my time with people who could afford it that weren't interested, all right? So bottom line is, I'm pretty reasonable about working with people. If your oil well's pumping really well, thank you very much. A professional rate is available, okay? If your oil well's not pumping that well, that's okay. We have a strong interest in getting as many people to this information as is possible. It's a labor of love as much as it's a labor, okay? If we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it, all right? So understand, and I'll discuss things with people. I do it on an individual basis because not everybody's in the same strata. And that has never been a powerful motivation on my part. If you can afford it, great. I'll tell you what it costs. And I tend to do consultations by the minute, the $1.50 a minute, 90 minutes or 60 minutes. You can get a lot of personal information about yourself. It's not like everybody needs to understand everything there is to know about design. And believe me, it'll take you a long time to do that. I'm still doing that, okay? But for you to understand who you are and to be able to make decisions as yourself, now there's where the benefit comes in. And that, if we do actually have something of value to offer, if you go with that, you're going to say, oh God, I'm so glad I met you. Okay. So this is not just about, it's not about us being teachers. We're all teachers. I learn as much from Ben as Ben thinks he learns from me. I mean, that's the way it is. The bargain of community is not going to be competition. It's going to be cooperation. That's what you're watching. Ben has his style. I have my style. They're not the same style. We're not the same people. Okay. It's perfectly fine to have your own style. All right. I'm an emotional guy. He's a splenic guy. You're going to get different experiences. Okay. It's all fine. There's no right, wrong, okay? I would always suggest you look for somebody, if you're going to get a reading, that has your similar profile or in harmony with your profile. We'll talk about what that is. I'll do that when a meet and greet, okay? Try to find somebody that has the same authority as you, because not much is going to get lost in translation if you're similar. You see what I'm saying? So put a little thought into your process. If you just jump into this like you've jumped into everything else, you may not get where you're going. But if you awake and aware and paying attention to your process in entering this, it's very, very rich here, folks. It's very, very rich. But I can't tell you that. I can demonstrate that to you, and then you can tell me it was very, very rich. You're the decider, I'm not. Okay, so that's how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, Tom. And I can see in the chats, so will you be able to navigate me in my life with the reading, personal life? Yeah, you know, that's I do a little bit of the reading, and then I really like to go into a consultation. So when people come for the reading, I usually send a little, it's not send, but when they book online, they have few questions to answer that are very specific about your life. And then we're diving into your life. What really interests me is what are you willing to do with this information? Because I refuse reading to people. I don't give a fuck if you just want to have a reading because it's fancy. I don't care. I mean, I've been refusing people paying me tons of money. They wanted to me giving seminars. I was like, no, I don't care, because you guys are just interested in like ego way to get because it's fancy. And what interests me is, what are you doing with this? Are you using it? If you don't use it, well, just go do something else, because that doesn't interest me. So yeah, the goal is to really help you to navigate with this information. And yes, we do consultation for couples and children's and family. Yes, that's what the knowledge is here for, to help us to understand each other, to recognize that we are different. We are different, you know, and then there's no need to blame your partner, to blame your children. There's a way you can communicate. And I mean, this is beautiful, you know, this is very beautiful. All right. I think that's it.
The applications to this information are endless. You
Yeah.
have no idea how many things this can be used for, okay? But the first thing is for you to understand yourself.
Yeah.
It isn't about understanding everybody else. It isn't about being the guru of human design. Understanding yourself. That's when you'll be able to make a contribution to yourself and others.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys. You guys are amazing. Super grateful for you.
Yeah,
I hope you all took something away from this. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
All
for
of you.
sure. Yeah, of course. And maybe a little like to end with this, and then I'm really good. But I know all of you guys are maybe doing working with John, right? You may be in a team or something like that. So human design can transform also the way you work. You know, the confidence with yourself, the way you approach your work, the way you're going to approach your teams, the way you're going to approach your clients, the way you get skills. You get skills about yourself, communication skills, selling skills, you know, and then it's not anymore about manipulating someone, but it's really about serving someone. You know, you're gonna selling is serving. When you sell from your heart, you are serving someone. Selling is serving. I learned that at the business school in London. It changed my life. I was so ashamed of selling when I really realized selling is serving. You know, if I sell from my heart, I'm serving. I have an information and I'm transmitting the information. You know, so that's also how it can really impact your work. It's a beautiful transformation in many aspects of your life.
My motivation for sharing anything I have to share with people is to improve their life. The reason I want you to have it is because I got it and it improved my life. And that's the service right there. And, you know, Ben's an initiator. Okay. I'm a community guy. We have different approaches, but the same thing is to get people to cooperate rather than compete, to find peace rather than to exist in war, to be motivated by love as opposed to fear. So, you know, there's a choice. And the reason I would like other people to have this is because of what I have seen it has done for me. This product or service has made my life better. I'd like you to have this product or service because of that. Now that's beautiful salesmanship.
Yeah.
But just trying to get the money out of people's pockets and sending them down the road with bullshit, that is not a service. And that's the way most business operates. Not all business, but that's the way most business operates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
John.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, John, and everybody that showed up.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. And if you've got any more questions, feel free to reach out to me or Ben or Tom, and we'll get you going. We'll get you in the right direction. So all the love, great stuff. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Sayonara.